Hi, loving souls. It's nice to talk to you again. Although we are always communicating inside. Anyway, I want to discuss something with you. I heard recently that some of you want to eat only one meal a day just because I said to you that I eat once a day. Please do not copy this, because if you are still working in the bustling world, please do not be too hard on yourself. Eating one meal a day normally is for when you're in retreat, alone or with some trusted friends. Otherwise, if you're still working very hard, every day, and then go home, you still need to take care of your people, your family or your pet people, even your friends, relatives, then you should not. You can try, of course, for a while to see how you go, okay? But do not force yourself thinking that it will make you become a Buddha quickly. It's not like that, because how much you eat also depends on your merit in the past life or in this life. The venerated enlightened Buddha, he did not have much stress in those days because there was no pollution, no climate change to worry about. I mean, not that the Buddha worried about life and death, it's just that the enlightened people, enlightened ones, always care for others, not for themselves. Now, even when the Buddha was alive, he allowed his monks to take juice in the afternoon, because at that time the Buddha himself and the monks ate only once a day around noon. And normally, afternoon they would not take food. They drank water, of course. You can do that also. But the Buddha expressly say that he allows his monks to take juice, all kinds of leaf juice, vegetable juice, and fruit juice. I will ask the team to print it out for you. For just a moment, maybe I can tell you. Okay, the Buddha's instruction is in the Mahavagga, because there was one ascetic who came to the Buddha to invite him and his monks for a meal. At that time, it was too late already in the afternoon, because the Buddha and the monk Sangha do not take any meal, any solid food after noontime. They normally eat only at around noon. So the ascetic Kenya made some juice and offered it to the Buddha. And the Buddha said to him, please distribute it to the monks, the bhikkhus. But then the bhikkhus were very worried because it was not the time to eat any food. So they declined. And then the Buddha say, oh, it's all right, you can have it. And then after that, the ascetic Kenya served all the bhikkhus with the juice that he made until all of them were contented and wanted no more. Then because of this occasion, the Buddha also delivered an instruction, addressed the bhikkhus, and said, I allow you, O bhikkhus, 8 kinds of drinkable things: mango syrup, and jambu syrup, and plantain syrup, and mocha syrup, and grape juice, and syrup made from the edible root of the water lily, honey, and parusaka syrup. I allow you, O bhikkhus, the juice of all fruits, except the juice prepared from corn. I allow you, O bhikshus, drinks prepared from all kinds of leaves, except drinks prepared from pot herbs. Pot herbs, I guess, are similar to like peppermint, yeah, or rosemary. And the Buddha continued to say, I allow you, O bhikshus, drinks prepared from all flowers, except licorice juice. I allow you, O bhikshus, the use of the juice of the sugar cane. All these are the juices that the Buddha allowed his monks to drink, though it's already past noontime. And even before this occasion, the monks were allowed to take food when traveling or in a similar situation when the exact time for the meal was uncertain. So in the case that you really consider to take the one meal course per day, then please be advised by the Buddha instruction as I have told you. There's also honey allowed, but normally, even before that, the Buddha allowed the use of honey for medicinal purposes and to keep it for only 7 days. I don't take any of the juices. I really did maybe a couple of times in my lifetime. They're nice, they're okay. You can take them in the afternoon in case you insist you want to take one meal per day at noon. But be careful, you have to have enough nutrition because you still work in the world and are being, influenced by the energies of the hungry and appetized people of your surroundings. Now, in case you think by being an ascetic or eating only once a day, you will become a Buddha, it's not like that, okay? You also need to eat according to your assigned karma of this lifetime. I did it myself too. I also was vegetarian for some time, and it worked until heaven stopped me, as it is not useful for my spiritual work. Namely, through more food-related karma, more blessing will be for the world. For my petite physical body, it does only all it can physically. But I tell you, it was such a freedom, such a floating lightness, that I was so sad to discontinue. I am still sad remembering that. So please do not force your body to do it, even though the will is strong and anything you like can be done. But if your karma is designed otherwise, or you do not have a very strong spiritual practice and inner spiritual strength, then your body might fail you. So please, you can try for a while to see how it goes. If it doesn't work, you have to try to readjust to your old menu gradually, as long as it's vegan. I do not like to make the impression on any of you that asceticism is a must in our practice. No. Please be normal, okay? Be normal. Enjoy whatever you can afford and in your life. So many things you have avoided already, and I'm very grateful for that. So try to be moderate in all things, okay? Yes. Asceticism in itself doesn't bring you much. I have to tell you honestly. The main point is that you practice the right meditation and way of life. You have to be imparted a meditation method by a real enlightened and capable master who has tremendous power, so she can give it to anyone that has the fortune to encounter him or her and ask for this greatest of all favors on earth and in the universe. That is the initiation by grace for enlightenment. You see, because spiritual enlightenment is something inside of your real being. It's not from the outer garment. which is the body that houses your soul. Now, suppose, the electric cable is very beautiful and well taken care of, but there is no connection to the electric source, then the light will not brighten up. And any other instrument that needs electricity will not work. It has to be connected with the power of electricity. Similarly, if we take really good care of the body, but we don't have a connection with the real source of God power within, then it's useless. Of course, the electricity cable has to be well maintained so that the electricity can go through for other uses. But it's not overdoing the electricity cable. You don't have to take extra care of the electric cable. But you have to maintain it well, sufficiently. You don't have to decorate your electric cable with flowers or silk or velvet or any other beautiful cloth, or paint it all kinds of color, or decorate the electricity box or the electricity, plug. That will not be necessary. Okay, that's it. I hope I have explained sufficiently, because you are intelligent anyway. And for immediate enlightenment, that is something you have to count on your 1,000 aeons of blessings to be able to receive it from an exceptional, powerful master. Without that, even if you become ascetic for a long, long time, and you even don't eat anything, it's not much use. Of course, it might be able to clean some of your karma, but the physical karma alone cannot bring you to liberation or condemn you, because spiritual inside is different from the outer knowledge. I have to think of how to explain it. Do I still? Whatever harm you can avoid doing to others, that is very helpful to you. It will bring you merit, it will clean your karma. But that is not the way for ultimate liberation or Buddhahood, or going home to God, or being one with God. Life after life, we take and give from different beings in our many lifetimes. And the give and take still has to continue in this lifetime. So whatever you think you can afford and take in, like food, clothing, just be moderate. But do not force yourself. Do not be extreme. Okay? If I have to, for some reason, eat more than once a day, I will have to. As per karma dictates. Sometimes it's too much karma at one time. It's overwhelming. I have to do what I have to do. Yes? But why do I prefer one meal a day? Like for example, like on a 3-month retreat, I took only that, sesame, brown rice, salt and water. Nothing more, not even fruit or any other things. It's just because it's more simple to live that way, and you still can survive, And during retreat, it's more difficult to have people to keep bringing food to you, because you want to be in peace, in quietude, in silence, to be alone, to contemplate on the inner spiritual wealth, to be close to God, to be one with God. So every complication caused by food or clothing is better to be avoided. But that doesn't mean it's forbidden, yes? But if I have to eat more than once a day, by God's will, by heaven's order, or by the karma of the world, I will do that. I'm not attached to one meal a day or many meals a day. Whatever is God's will, I will do it, okay? So now if you think that God wants you to eat once a day, of course, if God tells you, or if you think intuitively that is the way you should go with your life, then please try it. But be careful and always watch if your body, your mind, your mental, physical, emotional, psychological, intellectual body, etc., would agree with what you're doing, okay? Otherwise, you may cause harm to yourself. Some people also are going to the extreme, like becoming a breatharian, with or without guru. And some of them lose their life. Sadly, you need this physical body in order to continue to do the practice that your master has instructed you in, so that you will reach higher and higher dimensions in heaven while still living in this world, so that you can liberate yourself, your many, many generations, and also bless the surroundings, bless the world at the same time. Therefore, your duration of practice is very important. Do not try to shorten your life by any ideal or any concoction or any delusional thinking. For example, that being ascetic will bring you liberation. No. You have to do it the right way, whatever you are born to do. And even meditation, not just any meditation, brings you to liberation. I have observed the whole world. People meditate in all kinds of ways, on all kinds of things. Most of them have the wrong method from a lower master and can't get beyond the third world. A wrong, low-level master could harm you in many aspects, not just spiritually. And if you can't get beyond the third world, it means you have to return to a physical body, physical life, either on this planet or any other planet in the universe. This is a sad thing, that even many of the zealous demons or astral demons pose themselves as priests or monks and nuns, as spiritual masters, and mislead a lot of sentient beings to go to the lower way of spirituality or path. I saw that and I felt very painful. But whatever karma you have, that's the way you will go on with your life. Unless some miracle happens that you meet an enlightened master and get a true, secure, guaranteed spiritual meditation method to bring you to the true liberation beyond the three worlds. We could say the four worlds, actually, when including the human world. The human world, the astral world, the causal world, and the Brahma world. All these worlds will be destroyed one day or another. In Buddhist terminology, the Buddha called it the three worlds, meaning our physical world that we can see, touch, hear, and perceive. It's not included, it's different. The other three worlds, like the astral, causal, and a Brahma world, are invisible to the naked eye. Sometimes you can see them. It depends on your karma and your past life, spiritual connection. But most people don't see these three worlds. These are the three worlds you have to pass beyond in order to be liberated. That means you don't ever come back to this physical world or any other physical world anywhere. Either becoming a human, animal, a tree, plant, anything again, or even a demon, ghost, or hell being. So if you want to really be away from suffering forever, yes, and go to a higher dimension, enjoying bliss, happiness, and true liberation, then you have to go beyond the three invisible worlds, from the astral to the Brahma world. It's very difficult for you to really find a master to lead you beyond the third world. If you find such a master and your level is still too low, for example, that you can reach only the third world, not beyond it, It doesn't matter. If your master is truly enlightened and a true powerful master, then she can still continue to bless you and teach you until, you live above the three destructible worlds. But by asceticism, you can hardly reach there, okay? Truly. You need a pure, determined heart. If you could, it's still very, very difficult, because while you're practicing that, you will also be contaminated by other people around you. Their energy, their karma, their contact with you will bring you trouble and will not allow you to be uplifted to a higher dimension unless you are connected with a higher dimension already, just like through the Kuan Yin method that I have imparted to you. That is the correct, the direct word to higher dimensions. You go slow, you go fast, it's up to you, but it is a direct connection to a higher world. You will definitely reach liberation, guaranteed, or become even Buddha in this lifetime. If you're truly that high, that pure, and have practiced, thousands of aeons before without fruit. Even animals also practice spiritually. Some snake people also meditate. They practice very well, very diligently, and then they can become human, or they can make themselves appear as humans for short term or forever. Yes? But that is different. To practice just to jump from one species level to another, not to be in a higher heaven or be liberated, become Buddha or become one with God. That is the highest way you can aspire to. Just like in the Kuan Yin method, you are connected directly to the highest possible dimension. And you can reach any stage of that road. It depends on your karma, past life karma, your practice, your sincerity, your purity, and the blessing of all heavens that are always trying to take care of you. Now, if you practice alone, you're not a master, it's quite easy. All you have to do is just receive the initiation from the master with your heart of longing to go home, longing to know God. Then you will have it at the end, definitely, guaranteed, 100% true and sure. Any other methods, it depends also on the master who has attained a higher level or not. Even in the Kuan Yin method, if somebody just learns halfway, half-baked or just a little bit and thinks that's all there is, because she didn't see the masters before and after inner works, and at the time of initiation, not much more than a silent communication, silent transmission. You see, the so-called disciple will still receive inner heavenly light and inner heavenly word, or you call it sound, or you call it vibration. I mean, even in the physical body, you can see heaven, you can hear the word of God, the vibration of the spheres, and you will be feeling more and more enlightened each day, and also more and more comfortable in the physical domain. That is because the master feeds you spiritual power gradually until you grow up and are safe in heavenly realms. So do not try to rely only on asceticism in order to reach your goal. No, if you are practicing the Kuan Yin method, you don't need that. Long time ago, the Chinese Zen master saw that his disciple just sat on the floor in the temple and tried to meditate whatever his way. And he used bricks to, to polish in front of him. And he asked them, what do you think you're doing? He said, I'm trying to make a mirror. And he said, you cannot make a mirror out of these bricks, no matter how long you polish them. So he told him, it's the same. Sitting there will not bring you enlightenment. Just sitting there. No. Yes, because He knew there was the way for enlightenment, the path of enlightenment. You have to walk on that path, otherwise you're not going anywhere that you want. Yes. Or it takes many thousands of years or many eons until you find the right path. You just run around in a circle, in a labyrinth, you know. This is difficult to tell outside people if they don't have the experiences inside the way you do. So I'm just talking to you actually, just to remind you of things, okay? If you really want to eat only once a day, or it's simple, you know, the no pain kind of vegetables that I have listed some to you, not all of them. I don't have time to think about too many things. The Supreme Master television work physically takes up a lot of my time. A lot, many hours, and I do other things as well. Eh? Even photography takes many hours for you just to enjoy a few seconds, a few minutes. My team works very hard, and of course I'm working along with them. But I think the list that I have listed for myself, you know, is enough already for me to live on. It worked. It works up to now, yeah? And if you don't want all those, you can even just have a brown rice, sesame, and some fruit, yeah? You know, melons, those are no pain fruits. Then you're okay also. And you feel satisfied. You will feel light-hearted, light-footed as well. You'll be happy. But of course, if you are in any situation that you don't have those foods and you have other foods, vegan, of course, then you can partake in some. Yeah. But if you worry that you don't have enough nutrition, then it's a very, unnecessary worry. Yes. You can also eat white rice with those vegetables and fruits that I listed, you know, even though the list is not complete. It's enough. My God, we don't live to eat, we eat to live. And in old time, even, many of the priests, you know, live in the desert. They didn't have any food. They just ate like dry bread and just dip it into water, and that's all they ate. And maybe some dates, you know, which were easy to store and kept for a long time. They just accepted maybe 6 months supply of food, enough to survive. And these priests and monks or nuns just wanted to be alone, to pray to God, to feel God's love and blessing, that God will bless them. They just wanted to be alone with God, whether they were already very highly enlightened or not. The noble ideal, the lofty goal is to reach God, to know God, to love God more, and to be enlightened in this respect. In the Himalayas, also many Hindu monks just ate whatever dry food, you know, that they could store in the Himalayan mountains, very high, far away from it all. Maybe just some rice and dal, the lentils that they can cook with some salt and maybe some spice if they have it. Otherwise, that's all they live on. Because in the deep Himalayas, like Gumuk, the snow will cover all the road or any access for at least 6 months. So for 6 months, nobody is able to go to Gumuk, such a deep and high region of the Himalayas, to supply any food or anything. Perhaps some of these monks also live on air, you know, like breatharians or waterians. It's easier and simpler for them to be away from the world so that they can enjoy the bliss with God or contemplate on God. It would be the best if they already have a master who transmitted to them the liberation method, and then they continue to stay far away from others so that they have easier access, easier contemplation. but they don't do much in such a region. And in such an area, the air is pure, yes? The energy is pure. No disturbance of any kind. No human to go there either to bring food or to worship them, disturbing their peace. That's why they wanted to stay so far away from it all. I wish I could also, because I remember when I was in the Himalayas, it was the best time I had. I never felt any trouble. I never worried about anything. I didn't even think of the word peace or disturbance. There was no such situation or thinking or attitude or mental relation to it. You just live your life. You just feel so good. You don't think of anything else at all in this world. You never want anything more in this world. Even at that time, I didn't have a lot of money at all. I told you already, I could only eat some chapati every day. Once in the evening when I came back to my hut, the mud hut, and then maybe one samosa in the morning when I passed by the old lady who made such heavenly samosa that I never tasted so good anywhere else. That was in Rishikesh. It wasn't highest a Himalayan part. You have to go up higher to Gurmukh. Then it will be the last of the Himalayas that you can reach. Further on, I don't know if any monks or nuns will stay. It's more difficult to access there. Now, I did not intentionally become an ascetic there. It seemed like in retreat. It's just the way it is, in the Buddhist tradition, when you're in retreat for 3 months every year, you just have to be alone or be with your similar community people. But you don't eat more than that, yeah? Maybe in the Buddha's time, they had more food. But in my time, I was alone in the back of the temple, which is the room used for ashes of the Buddhist believers who are dead. And then the relatives brought them there so that they could hear the monks in the front, a little far down below the temple, who recite the sutras to help them to have peace and be liberated from hell or from whatever unfavorable existence. I didn't have any people to bring food to me every day. I didn't want to. Of course, I could have asked the monks down there to help bring food to me, but I didn't want to. There were some people who wanted to visit me. I also refused, except for 1 or 2 times for my own disciples. At that time, I had a couple of disciples, and they came to visit me in the end, because I brought some new people for initiation. I did not want to see a lot of people. I did not want to see anyone. Therefore, I took just sesame and brown rice. In the first week, I had some orange juice brought to me together with that provision. But later on, there was no more left. So just sesame powder, brown rice. And salt, of course, or some soy sauce. Probably some soy sauce also. But at the end, only salt, And I survived, and I didn't feel bad or sick or anything. On the contrary, when I went out into the world, at the request of Longin people, then I began to have a little bit of a problem here and there, and then sometimes almost fatal. It could have been fatal, but then God still wanted me to live, to continue to work. Maybe that's why I survived many attempted assassinations, many life and death, medical conditions, and physical sicknesses. But it's not the asceticism that brought me to where I am or helped me in any way. It is the convenience of it that affords you to be alone and quiet, so that you can continue to contemplate on your inner meditation and not be disturbed or distracted by any kind of worldly interference. That's all, okay? But I emphasize, I do not advocate for asceticism as a way to force your body just to feel that you can. Of course you can, but do not try to force yourself too much into trouble, all right? I just want to tell you, if you want to have less meals or less troublesome cooked meals, then you can have them. More simple, but do not force yourself. Okay? If your body cannot bear it, stop immediately and return slowly to normal. Do not immediately jump from one extreme to the next relaxing kind of way of life. Okay? But always be vegan, yeah? Not because you're scared of karma only, but mainly because we don't want to hurt any beings. Even animal beings, they don't look like us, but they are souls. They have souls in them, and they have spiritual connection with the universe. Many animal people know more than we humans will ever know. They have an acute sense of knowing things that will happen before they even happen. They could see through you. They could predict what you're going to have as trouble or as an accident. And they try to warn you a lot. But most humans cannot hear the animal people talk. Sometimes you see an animal person suddenly jumping around you and disturbing your TV watching because that animal person knows that that program will bring you bad karma, burden, for example, like that. My dog people know that. Many of them tried to stop me many times, but because I have to work, I have to know the world in order to take care of the world. So I have to sacrifice. But if you don't have to, you must not. Don't watch too many worldly programs, especially those violent films and shows. They are very, very bad for you. They deplete your energy. They drag you down to a lower level, even if you're already on a higher level, okay? Yes, they make you sick. They make you ill. They disturb your mental capacity and everything. Especially if you watch it, at night when you need to sleep. Even if you are a night person, you better not abuse yourself too much mentally, psychologically, emotionally, wisdom-wise, because the nighttime is a time to rest, time to meditate and contemplate on a higher, loftier dimensions in the universe, nearer to heaven, nearer to God, okay? Nighttime is a time of the negative force who is roaming around and disturbing your peace, sucking up your energy, even influencing you to do wrong, thus creating bad karma for you or and others consequently. Yeah, sometimes I have to work late in the night. I'm very sorry for myself. I have to say I'm not stone. I'm not made of iron. I'm sorry for myself. And for some of my team's people who have to work at night also. But if we have to do it, we do it. If any of you, the Supreme Master TV people, want to eat once a day, you could if you want to. If you think it helps you, you have to listen to the body and observe your energy to see if it's good. If you feel any trouble, please stop immediately, okay? We have enough money. We always have enough food for you. I have, okay? Don't worry about that. You have everything you need to live on comfortably and well. So do not force yourself trying to save money or anything like that. No need, okay? Yes. I'm not a billionaire, but my business has enough income. Even during the pandemic, we still have some spare. You know, I make sure so that we can continue to do our work. But it's also God's grace, you know. If one day we don't have, then I will report it to you. Right now, you continue to eat well, okay, sleep good, and do what you can for the world through Supreme Master Television. Because nowadays, it's only through this kind of media that we could spread the truth and all the reports, the true reports around the world. I used to go around the world talking before, but the effect and the results were nothing compared to the media such as television or the internet. That's why we're doing it. But do not make yourself a victim of asceticism. Every noble goal, anything you try to minimize, to simplify your world, and to save the resources of the planet, I appreciate it very much. I will appreciate it very much. But do not force too hard, okay? Your body, your physical life is very important to your spiritual practice. It's easier to practice here than in heaven. In heaven, it's slower because you have nothing to do there. You don't have much of the merit and the challenges to polish you. So whatever you earn in this world in spiritual practice is much quicker, much more valuable than elsewhere. All right. So take care of your bodies and do good for the world. No need to kill yourself for anything, even for Supreme Master Television. All right, got that? If you want to try the no pain food, okay also. See if your body is okay with it. Don't force anything anyway, all right? I'm just telling you that you could live on it if you want. Because I could, see? I have done it. It's okay. Or even just brown rice, sesame, and salt, okay. And even eating once a day, okay. But it depends on how much you have to work and run around in your situation. We don't work so easily. We have to work in hectic times, and sometimes during the night where we could not even sleep, we have to do something when it comes to an urgent situation. And I appreciate it very much that every time we have FN, you work very hard, diligently, and fast. You always surprised me with your, efficiency and speed. Thank you again and again. May God bless you all so much. Therefore, the in-house Supreme Master TV team have to meditate at least 3 times a day. And if you have more time, of course, you may take more. And you may take during the night as well. Why did the Buddha let the monks under his wing drink the juice, even if the monks were kind of reluctant? That was because before that day, the Buddha and the monks never ate, anything that looked like food or from food like that before. They just drink water in the afternoon and then at night, nothing, yes? and went for alms in the morning, and then went home late at lunch, noontime. It didn't matter if the monks drink extra juice, from vegetables or fruits like that, because they had enough merit to digest it and to give merit according to the juice that they drink, even to the world, to the people who give it to them, and even to the vegetables and the fruit trees that partook. Because the Buddha's monks also, have an advantage that they went out one time a day for alms and went home to their hut or wherever they stayed, and only had to eat that, and then they went to meditate or listen to the Buddha's sermons. So they did a lot of meditation and a lot of connecting with spiritual masters, such as the Buddha. They meditated a lot after that, or between that, or before that, and then they rested also in meditative kind of mentality. So even if they eat one meal a day, that's okay too, because they did not spend too much energy, doing anything else. And if they drink some extra juice, which was made from fresh vegetables and or fruit, then they could also digest that. Their merit was immense. That's why when people pray to Buddha, pray to them, they have received immediate or later merit. You also have enough merits to eat thrice a day. Or if you prefer, then you eat a very good meal at noon or before noon, and then some lighter food or juice in the afternoon. Yeah. This tradition of eating one meal a day is, of course, born out of wisdom and convenience. The Buddha named it the middle way, not too strict, not too indulgent. Because imagine the Buddhas or the monks having to go back in 2 or 3 times a day. Or if the disciples or followers have to come 2 or 3 times a day to prepare the meals for them. In the difficult situation of the old days, when nothing was so easily available, and not to say manpower and transportation, then when would they have time to be quiet, restful, and meditate or listen to the Buddha's teachings? In those days, we didn't have any big bright light, It was dimly lit. So it was better the Buddha lectured in the daylight. And the going for alms from one house to another system presented the monks the opportunity to introduce the Buddha and his holy teachings to the masses, as there were no high-tech ways for communication such as ours nowadays. And then at night they could have time to meditate together. They didn't have to go far because it was dark. This tradition also came from the Buddha's wisdom, because before the Buddha's enlightenment, he followed, some other practices. And one of them was a reinforcement of being truly very, very strict to the body's needs, almost reduced to starvation and no drink, not much of anything. So after the Buddha sat under the Bodhi tree and tried to meditate to reach the final enlightenment, his body had become truly very emaciated, until at last, when he was done with his 49-day solitary alone retreat, he accepted a bowl of milk, rice porridge from one of the cow girls. And then he felt that, his body became better, he became mentally more clear, everything was better. So he realized that extreme asceticism is not really favorable, because if your body is sick or too weak, too tired to withstand the elements, then how will you continue to reach higher enlightenment, or the highest one? And then how can you continue to stay a while longer in this samsara to help spread the truth, the real teaching, and also to bless the world at large, and to bless all the souls that come to you to seek enlightenment and liberation. You have to be there for them, for the world, until your body's time is up and you go back to heaven or nirvana. Yeah. Now you know. So if you need to eat more than one meal a day, it's okay with me. You need to work physically, also emotionally and spiritually while you are in your abode to continue to do work for the Supreme Master Television. You have to be fit, well, alert, and happy as well. One meal a day, it doesn't suit everybody. It needs probably some rigorous training, specified just for that. And during that time, you have to concentrate on this regime. Yeah. And then if you feel hungry during the day afterward or before that, then it might be difficult to concentrate on meditation or doing Supreme Master Television work. So 3 times a day meditation, 2 meals a day, it's just very reasonable. Because not everybody can eat well in one meal. Some people eat very little, several times a day, yeah? Because they can't eat a lot at one time. Or some have to eat several times a day per instruction from the doctor or per their bodily condition. Some people can concentrate and eat a lot at one time. So it's up to your body, and your spiritual and mental strength to follow 1 meal a day diet. Also, because you live in the world, there might be quite an immense amount of karma, energy surrounding you or wherever you're going in the world. There was one person, she went to the mountains alone, and when she was in the mountains, she didn't have to eat anything. She didn't feel the knack of hunger, and she stayed many months, so for some time, and she was okay with being breatharian. But as soon as she went down back into the town, where her apartment or house was, she couldn't do it anymore. She found it very difficult. That's because of the collective karma, which creates an energy, making you feel almost like mixed and identified with all the people around you who are also eating, 3-4 times a day. There was one person who did it vigorously in the middle of the world. She was walking on the streets, even while she was breatharian. And she was monitoring her body to see how it went or how accepted breatharianism before and during that time. But then she was hit by a car. Not that she drove, somebody else drove and somehow killed her. You see, she could have been a beacon, of hope and inspiration for many other people to follow her way. But, that is what it is. The word karma seems not to have allowed that to happen. So we do everything in moderation. It's better, okay? Yes. And if one time you see me eat a little bit after the 1 meal, do not think too much. I probably have to. Too much karma. I have to work according to that, according to God's will, according to the karma that I have to shoulder due to the world's collective energy, okay? And you also, if you eat 1 meal a day and feel you cannot bear it after a while, then maybe you cannot bear the burden of karma, your karma and the collective karma of the world. Do not think too much of anything. Just be always in God's love. Always remember God and thank all the masters who uplift you, support you, and protect you. Food, clothing, and computer work are only what you have now. Be not too strict with yourself. You have my love forever. And if you feel hungry, eat, okay? If you're tired, sleep. And do what you can, the best for the world through Supreme Master Television. All right? Then you have a more relaxed life while working. sometimes very hurriedly, very hectically in our schedule. Sometimes we don't have a normal schedule. We have to do what we have to do. All right. Don't worry. Don't feel bad if you eat more than once a day. It's okay. Yeah? Or if you can eat once a day and make juice for yourself in the afternoon with the vegetables and fruit and all that. That is very, very, nutritious already and easy to digest. And also feeling for you. Make you suffer less the pang of hunger. All right? You have to do according to your will, your karma also. You can't just force it all too much. Yeah? And also, many people practice spiritually in all different ways, and they're proud of themselves or think it's efficient, but it's not like that. In some countries, they practice many kinds of strange spiritual things like worshipping the rat people, or wanting to be a rat, or wanting to reincarnate as a rat person, or worshipping the snake people, even officially and openly and feeling proud of it, and even thousands of people follow that. Okay, as I told you already, and you know it, I love animal people dearly. And all the animal people can be helpful to you one way or another, at some time or another. Yes, even snake people, they can help you, in some way to fulfill your wish or to help you out of some accidents and to protect you in some way, whatever they can in their power. But animal people are not God. So do not try to worship any animal person instead of God. We can love them, thank them, appreciate them if they help us in any way, if you know about it. Even if you don't know about it, love your pet people, love any animal person you can see or can help. But otherwise, do not worship them like God, okay? Worship God alone. Worship the Master. Obey the Master that you follow, because he, she can bless you and help you in any way. Because he, she can connect with the whole universe. If he, she is a true Master and the most powerful one, then you are in the best of luck in many aeons, in many universes. You have to feel it through your practice, through your inner heavenly experiences, whether or not that Master is worthy for you to follow, okay? Yes. And then, even just having that Master, that's enough. You don't need anything more. Even God would love you if you love that Master and obey that Master's instructions. God would also love you. That's all God wants, that you follow the Master's teaching, because that is from God directly. If that Master is one with God, actually, such as Lord Jesus Christ, yes, the Buddha, yeah, many gurus like Lord Mahavira, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, etc. So many masters. I could spend my whole lifetime reciting all their names. It would never be enough. So now, it's not because I ate even once a day or eat even no pain food that it means I advocate for this way of life. No, huh? Okay? You please live well. When you're in retreat, it's difficult to get all the food you want, and you do not want to be disturbed. If people are always coming bringing food to you, then you just eat what you can afford, what your time allows. And what's the position, the condition of your retreat is, and the situation and the locale of your retreat. Sometimes it's very inaccessible. People cannot so easily bring food to you. Yeah? That's why many of the masters and saints, sages in the past, they just eat very simple, affordable, and storable food. So they didn't have to always bother their followers to bring food to them so often. Even if they were very willing to do it. Most of the masters, of old and the saints and sages, they wanted to be in quietude, alone, to be with God, to strengthen their power, the energy, so that they could also bless the world as per God's will and God's grace. So do not dwell deep into asceticism and believe that it is the way to liberation. It's not. Even those who do charity and do good, either to humans or animal people, these people, they're lofty, they are noble, but it's not the method for liberation or to reach the high attainments such as Buddhahood. Doing charity, helping others, doing good deeds are things we should do. And it will lessen some of our karma, of course. But it's not like the Kuan Yin method that leads you to total liberation in one lifetime. Remember that. But you should always do good deeds anyway, okay? I do also. Not because I need merit or praise or reward, but because we live here together. If somebody is in need, or some humans or animal people are in need, or any beings are in need, we must help them. That's a normal thing to do. It's not because we need a merit or want a reward. Better not. Whatever you do, accredit it all to God, to heavens, okay? To Buddhas. You see, if we just do good deeds, then we are good. We are noble and kind. But according to the Buddha even, it's just for heavens and worldly merit. Because heavens have many categories, many levels. You can earn heavens between the three worlds, the three destructible worlds. You can earn those heavens, these three destructible heaven worlds, or be on earth. Like if you're a very good person, charitable, generous, and kind, then you can go to those heavens within these three worlds and or come back later on in human form, in a rich family, having success, privilege, honor, and all that, after you spend some time in the heavens, but not the higher heavens. The higher heavens are from the fourth level, upwards, up to, of course, Tim Kutu's land, and beyond even. But beyond that, we don't need. No need to go too far. Too far, there's not much there we can relate to, or can truly understand or enjoy. There's no need, actually, yes. Just like after college, after university, that's enough. You don't need to have another school after university, but you can expand your knowledge after university because you know how, you know better. So people who do charity work, even yourself, if you rely on that, you only go to maximum, the highest measurement level of the third world, the Brahma world. But then you have to return to earth again, because it's not a liberation kind of path, you see? It's to earn merit for heaven and earth only. Here, when the Buddha mentioned that, it was not Buddha's status, okay? Yes. Lord Jesus also advised people to help their own brothers and sisters, humans. But he didn't say, by doing that, you will reach God. You will go back to his Father's mansion. Otherwise, why would he tell his 12 apostles to follow him? Yes? Why not just continue to do outside work? And if fishing work is not good, he would advise them to take up other work without killing the fish people, other vegan work, But he told them to follow him, to be his apostles, even though their end is so tragic, so horrible that no one can even imagine, even in the most scary horror movies. Oh God, I don't know how any master even comes back to this world again. It's horrifying how we treat each other, how we treat saints and sages, and even animal people, trees, land, oceans, rivers, and lakes. We seem to be destroying them gradually or rapidly. Nowadays, most of the water in the world is contaminated by one thing or another. Nothing is good for us. You see, if just by doing good business, being rich, and giving charity, you can be liberated, then the Buddha would have advocated that. The Buddha recounted stories of some faithful in the old times that a woman offered even just one piece of tattered cloth to a Buddha. And for many lifetimes, she enjoyed richness, a comfortable life, etc. Always with a silk cloth naturally wrapped around her from birth on. But remember, even an offering to a Buddha would bring you many lives in the labyrinth of birth, death, old age, plus all the related challenges. Only by practicing the right meditation, living a right life, will liberate you for good. At this time, the Buddha reminded the whole assembly and Anand. He said, Anand, you should know, the wife, the poor wife, at that time is the bhikkhuni now, the one with the white silk, because she has such a purity, such a pure heart, sincere, humble heart to offer this piece of cloth at that time to that Buddha. So now, for 91 aeons, everywhere she was born, she always had this piece of silk wrapped around her, natural, and clean. And she was always born in rich, powerful, famous family and lacked nothing in her life. But anyone who wanted to be homeless monk had no possessions, no guaranteed food or clothes or shelter. He accepted them. He advocated for that. Of course, we don't have to go to that, too demanding a position, a practice. We could stay at home, and that's enough if you meditate well. And of course, doing good deeds. But that is normal, a duty of neighbor, helping your neighbors, other fellow beings or other animal people. They are just our duty, the give and take in this world is compassion that we must have, that God has bestowed on us. But it's not liberation. It's not for liberation that we do charitable work. That won't be sufficient, okay? Just to remind you again. And you can see all the saints and sages, what they did in ancient times, then you will know what I'm saying is the truth. And not just I who say it. It's my realization to know that. It's a part of my realization. It is one thing that you listen to the saints and sages telling you this and that instruction for spiritual practice. But it is another thing that you realize it yourself. You assimilate it yourself. You understand profoundly the true meaning of it through your own spiritual experiences. That's different. So self-realization is wisdom, is God realization, is enlightenment to the highest possible in this world. If you're just doing work for Supreme Master Television and really have faith in the Master who organizes Supreme Master Television, for example, then you will also have merit. And if you're vegan, sincere and pure, then of course the Master will also lift you up for liberation. But it's not because you work in the Supreme Master Television network or just sit in meditation. No, it is because of the Master behind it. With the Master power who helps you. Just like sometimes people outside on the street or anywhere by chance see the Master, meet his or her eyes. That person will also be uplifted to a high degree accordingly, and even liberated in one lifetime or the next lifetime because of the blessing of that enlightened Master's power. It's not that you just do good and then you will have the blessing to be liberated in this lifetime or a couple of lifetimes afterward. No, the Master power is the main focus, is the main ingredient for your liberation, for your high enlightenment. All the scriptures of the big, main, true, good religions mention that. I'm just trying to remind you of your own faith, of your own religious teaching. If you are sick, look into the sixth scripture, the Granth Sahib. If you are Muslim, look into the Quran. If you're Christian, look into the Bible. Look into the Christian teachings. Look into Jesus left behind teaching essence in the Essene scriptures. It's mentioned everywhere. You just didn't notice it. You just brushed by it. Maybe you didn't understand anyway. If you are Jain, look into the teachings of Lord Mahavira and other Jain teachers, Jain masters. If you're Buddhist, look into Buddha's teachings. They always mention the blessing of the Buddha. The Buddha was a master, of course, an enlightened master. Look into any religion that was left behind by any master, you will see they always mention about the benefit of knowing a master, of the blessing of the master, true master. Just mention any master, casually, Kabir, even, you will see it all. Hinduism, if you are a Hindu, you must look into your scriptures of Hinduism. Then you will know what I'm saying. It's all correct. It's all affirmed in your own religions. If all the masters knew or realized that just by doing asceticism or good deeds, charitable deeds, helping others, you would be liberated forever, then they would have told you that. No, none of them say that. Yes, you pay for, zakat, or you do charity the Christian way, Buddhist way, Hindu way, Sikh way, or Jain way. But nothing says that if you just do good deeds, then you'll be liberated. No. They mention that you have merit. Heaven will bless you. Your life will be comfortable now or maybe next life. But it doesn't mention that you will be liberated. You will become Buddha if you do charitable deeds. The most charitable deed, the best, the highest, the most effective is truth, charity, meaning you teach people the truth. You spread the truth teaching from any master, the living master, of course. Otherwise, why would the Buddha be reborn again to go through a lot of asceticism or trouble or trials and even assassination attempts in order for another Buddha to be there? We have had so many Buddhas since ancient times. Sakyamuni Buddha even mentioned that, of course. And why did Jesus Christ have to come down again, suffer the torture on the cross, just to be another Son of God reincarnated again? Because Lord Jesus has been there before. It cannot be that since a millions of years, God sends only one Son and forgets, neglects all before Jesus. You see what I'm saying? Why did the prophet, peace be upon him, have to come down again and suffer so much? Why did any other masters, saints, and sages have to come down again when we already had so many countless masters, saints, and sages, and many times the Son of God has come down again already? They have to come down to remind us, to give us the connection to the direct teaching of God, to the direct road to enlightenment, to liberation, to forever live in true freedom, in blessing and wisdom. So to have a master is a must. If you have a true master who imparted to you the true method to reach immediate enlightenment, to connect you with the path of direct connection with the highest heavens, with God, then you are there. Then you are secured. You are safe. Otherwise, no matter what you do, the best deeds in the world, selling the whole world to give in charity, to be an ascetic with nothing in your whole life, many lives, still it never would give you liberation or Buddhahood. There was a king in China. He is very famous, Liang Imperial. They would call him Liang Wuti in China. He asked Patriarch Bodhidharma how much merit he would have, because he built many temples, nourished many monks, and ordered to print many sutras. These are even the highest merit of all, not just material things. But Bodhidharma told nothing. You get nothing. Because he concentrated on doing charity and being proud of that, forgetting that the real Dharma has to be transmitted in silence and has to be practiced until you reach the highest enlightenment, even in this lifetime, to become Buddha in this lifetime, like the patriarch Bodhidharma, or Huineng, or many other masters, patriarchs in Buddhism, or many saints and sages in the Christian faith, or many in Hinduism, in Jainism, for example, and many masters either in Sufism or other branches of the Islamic faith. They all need to be there for humankind to lead them back home. They don't just tell you, okay, you just pay a tax for charity and that will be enough. No. Remember that. So whatever you can do for the world, it's good for you that you do that because you're noble. You're lofty, but that doesn't mean that is the way to bring you to liberation. Even to work for Supreme Master Television, that doesn't bring you liberation. But the Kuan Yin method imparted by the Master Power to you, that is the one who will liberate you forever. Yeah? All right. Thank you anyway for working for Supreme Master Television, because that is the best you can do to help our fellow humans and our brother and sister animal people and trees, plants and rocks and all things in this physical world and beyond. Thank you for that. Bravo. My God bless you immensely and love you forever. Amen. I love you too, forever. That's all I want to tell you. All right. Thank you then. Thank you. Love you, love you. Love you a lot. Thank you for all you do for the world. I also, by the way, thank you to all the non-disciple people outside who help to save the planet, to protect the humans and the animal people by keeping this world safe and sound, by being vegan, making peace, and doing good deeds. May God bless you all. Love you, love you. So long.